Today we're turning back the clock to check out those little pink toys called muscles. But where on earth did these little pink things come from? Well, to answer that question, we must first travel to Japan. In 1979, a weekly comic magazine called Shonen Jump began running a comic series featuring a goofball wrestler named KINNIKUMAN. At first, the comic was filled with silly one-shot stories and goofy jokes. But later on, all that fell by the wayside as a stronger and much more compelling storyline overtook the series. And this comic features some of the most craziest looking wrestlers too. There's a Rubik's Cube guy, a toilet paper mummy, and even a urinal with legs.
That's right! KINNIKUMAN forever!
What the? In 1983, the comic became so popular that it spawned not only a cartoon show, but also a line of smaller racer-like figures. And these featured all the different wrestlers from the comics. The first set of these figures included characters like KINNIKUMAN, his sidekick, his father, and a few friends and enemies he'd met along the way. And if you're wondering about that urinal with legs, he eventually made it into the second set.
Crap.
After a few sets of figures had been released, the popularity of these toys caught the attention of toy maker Mattel over in the US. And in the fall of 1985, KINNIKUMAN began showing up in US retail stores.
Mom, I want these!
Now the weird thing about this is that Mattel brought over the figures without even bringing over the cartoon or the comics as well. And of course, what better way to introduce us to something than to just make shit up as you go along. But instead of calling these KINNIKUMAN, they were called Muscle. And the main character would be called Muscle Man, and one of the main bad guys from the comic named Buffalo Man would now be his arch nemesis called Terry Bull, which was a stupid move since one of KINNIKUMAN's friends is actually named Terry Man. Wow, talk about a major faux pas.
Yep, that's right. Geronimo!
Shit! Even the figures themselves were different from their Japanese counterparts, since they were made bigger and from a harder plastic. Now when I first saw these as a kid, I thought they were cool just based on figures being packaged inside of a trash can. I mean, how cool is that to a kid? Now I wonder if there's actually a trash can man. Ah, there he is.
Hey, I'm here too.
Will you just leave me alone?
Oh boy.
In the months that followed, Mattel began releasing other muscle items, like colored muscles, and a mail-away poster that finally revealed that there were 233 muscle men to collect? Holy hell! Of course, there is one figure who was left off the poster for some unknown reason. And if you just happen to have him, then consider yourself lucky, because he's highly collectible.
Woo!
Back off, KINNIKUMAN!
Oh.
Now over in Japan, they ended up releasing a whopping 417 figures in all, and most of the later released figures never made it over to the US. And that's a shame, because some of these guys look pretty darn cool. There was a light bulb guy, a prism guy, a ghost, a cassette player, and what the hell is that? By the time 1987 rolled around, the craze for KINNIKUMAN was coming to an end. The story in the comic was finished, production on the cartoon was finished, and the toy line also ceased production. And of course, this also led to Mattel calling it quits as well. Now fast forward to 2008, and Bandai decided to re-release every single KINNIKUMAN figure in one giant set. Now this thing is a thing of beauty. All 417 figures in one place, and also a checklist? What more could a muscle fan ask for? Oh yeah, how about the damn cartoon dubbed in English? Now yes, there was a cartoon called Ultimate Muscle that aired in the US in 2002, but this was actually a sequel to the original KINNIKUMAN cartoon. But that's a story for another episode. Alright guys, so how do I rate these? Now I personally loved these little muscle men as a kid, but I just wish we'd have got that cartoon when I was little. Ah well, I guess I'll just give this one a big fat nostalgic mediocre.
What? Well, that's it.
Oh no you don't.